Hello, I'm Emma of Granola Gear, and I'm really excited for you to be here with me to chat a little bit about what I've been working on, what I've finished up, and what I've acquired since our last talk. It is raining out, and there are cars going by, like that motorcycle, so hopefully there isn't too much sound. This is my second try filming this. The first time, I was honestly just like kind of out of it. And the sound was a little weird, so I just gave up and decided I'd try again now that I'm kind of in a better headspace for this. And since filming that, I've finished two things actually, which is kind of funny. So I have more to talk to you about. I'll start with finished objects. Two of these are not blocked yet, and they definitely need to be. So they don't look exactly how they're going to. The first one is the Eva cardigan, which I knit for my mom. Oh, there's something stuck in there. I just finally woven the ends, and it totally, as you can see, does not look like it's going to. All the rib is very scrunched up, so it looks kind of crazy. This is knit in drop slima, and I believe the dark taupe or deep taupe. This is a size large, so it's going to definitely open up a bit with blocking. I had her try it on when I last saw her, and it was fitting her pretty well. I was just making sure the length was good enough. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. It turned out really nice. I managed to get my 2x2 rib perfect, which is something I had had issues with in the past, like making it not be gappy between the knit stitches. Basically, I learned that when I do the two knits and then I do the first of the two purls, I just have to make sure I pull that first purl extra tight because the yarn has longer to travel basically, and so like there can be more yarn left in that gap than normal if you don't pull it a little extra tight, which definitely hurt my hands by the end of it. Like I don't usually get hand pain when I'm knitting. Sometimes I get hand soreness, my hands get tired, and I just know I need to stop for a little bit. But that's different than like what crocheting does to me, which is like I get a little carpal tunnel-y, and the pain feels more like sharp pain, and it's more of like a wrist thing, something that's a little more of a damaging feeling, I guess. So I'll definitely be careful if I do 2x2 rib in the future. This obviously has a lot of it with the hem and the button band and the sleeves. But I think it turned out really nicely. I like this color. I have to pick up some buttons or check my button stash, but I really don't have much in the way of buttons. I have a few, but honestly, I made a big mistake. A handful of years ago, I was clearing out. I can't remember if it's because I was moving or just because it was like I was home from college and just needed to get rid of some stuff. Because I'm like a collector of craft supplies and have been my whole life. And I know what you're thinking, Emma, you're only 23? Yeah, I'm 23. You're only 23. How many craft supplies could a girl possibly have? Well, let me tell you, I have been the dumping ground for all craft supplies for basically my entire life. Everybody's grandma, everybody's aunt who like is getting rid of stuff, me, all me. I mean, you know how like you get to an age in life where you start getting gift cards because your family doesn't know what to buy you? Everyone always knew what to buy me. It was craft supplies, like a craft kit, or books. So I was easy peasy. I did not start getting gift cards until like I went to college. So that's all I'll say. I have so many craft supplies of every variety. I could do any craft I wanted at any time, and that's a beautiful thing. So I lost track of what I was saying. Oh, buttons. I got rid of a thing of buttons. I had a whole bunch of buttons because I was clearing out. Wow, totally lost that train of thought. I had a whole bunch of buttons that I had gotten or picked up at a thrift store or something, and I got rid of them because I just like was like, what am I using all these random buttons for? And now I wish I had kept them. But I think they're mostly really small, and I obviously am not using a ton of really small buttons. So yeah, this turned out really well. I'm really happy with it. I might knit it again someday. We'll see. A good DK weight pattern. I forgot to mention the sweater that I'm wearing, which is crochet. This is like the one big crochet sweater that I have. This is the one that honestly started giving me really serious wrist pain, and that's why I kind of had made my way into knitting and have stuck there because it doesn't cause me the same pain. This is the Inanna sweater by Linda Skuja, I believe. She's from Latvia, so I don't know if that's how you say her name. She used to be known as 11 Handmade. When I bought this pattern, her little name was 11 Handmade, and I just checked earlier to like make sure I knew the sweater pattern name correctly, and I guess she's changed the name to her name. This sweater is absolutely beautiful and amazing. If you want to invest the time in it, it's awesome. I used an acrylic yarn. It's now discontinued. It was by Universal Yarn, Little Bird. It's very soft, but it's also pretty heavily plied, so it doesn't pill. I don't really wear it a lot because I kind of forget it's there, and I lean toward my knit wool sweaters now. But I saw it in there today, and it's rainy, but it's still really warm, so I thought it would be a nice light sweater to pick up. It's a sport weight. I learned so much in doing this sweater. It's like crochet short rows and puff stitches. And it took me a very long time, and I think it was so worth it. I think it's so beautiful. If I could feasibly crochet this much again, I would absolutely make another one. It's amazing. I'm surprised I even managed to finish it, honestly, because it's a lot. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing. Plus the Eva cardigan. That's another finished object. The next one, I don't have a picture. I don't have with me because it was for my husband, and he apparently adores it. Because he, I guess, has worn it to work today. I was going to film this yesterday when he didn't wear it because it's green and he wore green pants. So he wasn't going to wear green pants and a green sweater. But I guess he picked it up to wear today, which means he's worn it like 3 times this week as his over sweater. So I guess he'll be getting another wool sweater. But it is the Moby sweater. We have matching Moby sweaters now. Knit and Drops Alaska. His is in olive. I will put up a picture or a little video, but there's pictures and videos on my Instagram and like reels and everything too. The one thing that needs to be changed on it is the sleeves are too long. I don't know if that's just because he's got shorter arms or because the pattern is. I didn't use the Moby Man pattern for him because it was in a lighter weight yarn. I'm pretty sure it was in DK. And I was like, I'm not gonna like knit myself the like worsted Aran weight one and then go and knit an even bigger sweater in a lighter weight yarn. I'm sorry, that's just not gonna happen. So I just knit him one of the larger sizes on the pattern, and it turned out totally fine, but the sleeves are a little long. So I probably need to rip those back and make them a little shorter. It's honestly like the length for him is probably perfect where the actual sleeve ends, where the Moby pattern ends and where the rib starts, because it's like a 4-inch rib. That's a lot of rib, honestly. I was knitting it and I was like, this feels like a lot. Not that the sleeves felt super long, but I was like, this feels like a lot of ribbing. So I might even just, I don't know, maybe it was, he folds the ribbing kind of in half. So maybe I'll just half the ribbing. No biggie. Just rib it back a little bit and do the Italian bind off again. But yeah, he really loves it. I really love how it turned out. It took me a while because I got kind of sick of doing the body. Now I'm never going to open that PDF ever again in my entire life because I do not want to knit that pattern ever again. It was fine. It's beautiful. I love it. It's written very well. I just, after knitting 2 of them and messing up the first one so bad, and then the second one, I started knitting him the wrong size and had to frog it and knit a different one. And then it took me a long time. I'm just like, I'm done. I think the difference between that and like the Ingrid sweater, you get the stages of switching to do different things. But the Moby sweater, even on the sleeves, I feel like you're basically doing the same thing over and over and over and over again on the front and the back. You don't really get like a break. You're just constantly doing the same motif. And I just got really tired of it by the end. But we cranked it out. She's done. She's beautiful. He loves it. So that's awesome. Very knit-worthy husband. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So there's that. The one other thing that went well was, so I had crocheted, no, I knit. Why am I saying crocheted? I knit a Kindle sleeve that I showed in the last episode. And it was fine. Nothing wrong with the pattern at all. The pattern was great. It was my yarn choices. And then when I blocked it, it got really big. And then I put elastic through it, hoping that would like salvage it. And that was fine because I needed something like right then short term because I was traveling with it and I wanted it in some kind of case. But it was kind of annoying with the elastic, and it was thinner than I wanted it to be. So I crocheted myself my own little self-drafted Kindle case. I don't have my Kindle in it right now, but as you can see, it is much stiffer than the other one. It's in a just kind of scrap wool that was just in a ball that honestly probably came from Goodwill. It's very pretty in this like pink tweedy. I did it in a moss stitch or linen stitch with a smaller hook, so it's denser. And then I did the same kind of like the first row of moss stitch along the edge. So like a single crochet and then a chain all the way around the flap so that it looks kind of like a blanket stitch, like a contrasting blanket stitch. And then this is just a random button I have that I think is a coconut button. This was a nice little project. It's perfect for my Kindle. I don't keep it in a case all the time. It's just more of like a, if I'm throwing it in a bag, I have a case on it, but I don't have like a screen protector on it. So it's just kind of to keep it safe. And this was a fun little one-day project. I actually knit it from, not knit it, I'm going to say knit it for forever now. I crocheted it from the top down because I wanted it to have like a nice, flat, very like defined bottom edge. And I knew if I started at the bottom, it wouldn't have that. It would be like a little more rounded probably, depending on how you do it. So I like crocheted this and then I chained around here the same number of stitches, and then I went around and I like at the end of each row, instead of just going up and continuing to go around in like a spiral, I turned my work so that the seam would go straight instead of like, if you don't turn, it'll like cut across like this. So I turned it each time so it went straight so that when I got to the end, I could just single crochet across the bottom, giving it a really defined edge. And I'm really happy with how that turned out. 10 out of 10. Maybe I'll write up a little pattern for it or a tutorial if you have any interest at all. It's pretty easy to mess around with making it the right size for yours. I have the Kindle Paperwhite, so that's the right size for that. So that was one. Oh shoot, I forgot one of the finished objects that I have. Darn it. I did that the last time I tried to film this video too. This one was kind of a flop. This is my blouse number 1, not because of the pattern at all. Pattern is great. Pattern is beautiful. This is more of a yarn thing. So the one thing is I don't really understand her, like the weight of yarn that she says, because it's 2 strands of pure silk by Knitting for Olive. And the pure silk is like a light fingering. 2 strands of light fingering together should be maybe a DK. They wouldn't be I think she even labels it an Aran weight. It might be worsted, but I'm pretty sure she wrote it as an Aran weight. So it's kind of like, that's odd. But I went with it. I'm not great about doing swatches. Just putting that out there. I tend to like start knitting something up and then I measure it, and then if it's about right, then I just go with it. So this was turning out fine. I actually thought it was turning out too small. The shoulder design is beautiful in this. It was great. What did I do? The sleeves were turning out too short pretty significantly. So I made them a little bit longer, and I also did more decreases because I don't really like a big sleeve. I like a pretty small sleeve because it just gets in the way. So I had made the sleeves smaller but longer, and I finished it up, and it was super quick. This really didn't take me very long. And this is in the unraveled sweater yarn that's silk and cashmere. And then I blocked it, and this bad boy just got huge. Which is why, like, this weird little bump you're getting on the shoulder, because it just expanded so much. Yeah, I'm pretty sad about it, but I'll probably frog it. At least it didn't take me a super long time, so it's not the end of the world. But like, I don't know. I think I might need to knit it in a smaller needle size. Cause I don't know, like here where it's tighter, like at the neck and stuff, it's like the right size. Like the neck is the right size. It just, everything else got really big, and I tried to salvage it, but it felt like when I was blocking it, maybe it was just because of how much water the yarn absorbed, that like as I was trying to squeeze it out, it was like just pulling so heavily down on itself and stretching itself out even more than you normally would blocking. So it's kind of like a mess. And I was hoping when I was doing it, because when I dyed the yarn, because this used to be like a bright, bright blue, I didn't rinse it out super well because I was trying to keep it from getting tangled. And I was like, oh, I'll knit this up and then I'll wash it really well so that I can get out the rest of the dye. So I was trying to do that too, but I think in the end, this would have been a good candidate for steam blocking. I think at some point, once I've kind of gotten over it, I will knit this again, unravel and knit it again, and I will definitely steam block it that time. I will probably also knit it in smaller needles, but I don't think I'm going to do like a full soak. I would try and wash and dry this to make it smaller, but it's only partially cashmere. It's also silk, so I don't know if that would actually work. Also, there's an ambulance that's about to go by. Let's let them go. Hi, ambulance. Yeah, so that was the result of this. Yeah, too big. Kind of sad about it because the pattern is beautiful. The yarn feels so nice too. I'm so excited for this guy. But she'll come back. She'll return someday. Now let me go get the one thing that I forgot. Okay, I'm back. So this guy was not actually really knit by me. My mother-in-law long ago knit this beautiful Fair House sweater. She's not like a huge knitter now, but it was something she had done in the past. This was a bottom-up sweater in the days when that was a lot of times how things were constructed. Now pretty much everything's top down because that's how people prefer it. But kind of partially because of that and because of, I think, just what she knew and the fact that patterns used to just really not have as much information in them. This cuff had like totally gotten wide like this, like it was flopping around. So it's not really a super wearable or feasible piece. It just didn't look as nice anymore. So I took a needle, picked up all the stitches at the base of the cuff, unraveled. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I actually, because it was bottom up, because it started here and went down, I had to like snip one of the pieces of yarn and then pull it out all the way around. And I detached the cuff, frog that, and use that yarn to make a nice tight little cuff. And now it looks way better. It's super cute. This is in 100% wool. It's kind of like a plotolopi type yarn. I may also do the neckline at some point, but I think the sleeves make the biggest difference. And look at that beautiful little hem. I have no idea what this pattern is, but it's gorgeous. I mean, yeah, she lives in San Diego now, so she won't be wearing this, but maybe I will, or maybe it'll go to a grandchild someday or something like that. But yeah, that was a fun little fix to make something more usable, which is very cool. And now we can move on to the whips. Oh, I put them on this side. Sorry, my hair keeps moving in the front, and I don't want it to hit the mic and like make crazy sounds. Oh, I let this get so tangled. Oh no, oh no. So, this is my sweater for my little brother. It's in Drops Charisma. These are a mess. So the superwash wool in color 19, and I don't have, this has hair in it too. I believe this is the dark blue. I don't think it's the navy. I don't have the tag on it right now. Also Drops Charisma. The needles aren't on it right now because I was using them for ribbing on something else, so I need to reattach them to this. I will insert the name of the pattern. It's a drops free pattern, so it doesn't have like a name. It's like a number. It's an older one, but it's going to be this is just the very, very, very beginning of the color work. I just pretty much cast it on and did the little starting bit. This is going to be like a traditional Norwegian sweater. I don't know if it's a kofta, because I don't know if a kofta is like just the cardigan, but it's one of those pullovers that has like it's kind of a quarter zip, but it doesn't have a zip. It has like the snaps, not the snaps, the like hooks right here. So you steek this and you steek the armholes. So that's really exciting. I think this will be really fun. It's a little experiment for myself, because I will definitely knit myself a kofta cardigan in the future, but I said I was going to knit everyone in my family a sweater this year. I've got my mom, my dad's is almost done. I just need to put the zipper in, but he wanted this, and I'm happy to spend this much effort and time on it because I know that he will really appreciate it. He has wool sweaters, because I wouldn't say he's a little hipster, but he kind of is. He loves his wool sweater, and he wears it, sorry about that, wears it all the time, so I know that it'll totally get used, and he's knit worthy in that way. He'll love it forever and keep it for forever. So I think it's it'll be a great experiment, and it's someone who's totally going to love it, and I'm really excited about it. But this is something I'm going to work on more. It's just hard because I can't really knit and read doing it. I've been using one of those colorwork rings starting on this because I'm not good at keeping the yarns separate, but I also might try doing a combo of continental and throwing because I knit continental. I just haven't found a good way to knit colorwork in a way that doesn't kind of drive me crazy. So that's the first work in progress. The next one is, dun, 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 this is sad, but not because it's something's wrong with it, but my Elizabeth blouse, which I actually tried on. It looks really, really good. It's a really great size. I thought the sleeves were turning out really big, so I was nervous, but I tried it on. It's totally perfect. It is off the needles right now because I ran out of yarn. I thought I had done the math, and I had thrifted this yarn. It's Paint Box Cotton DK. I thrifted this yarn, and I thought I had done the math to make sure that I had enough, but apparently I didn't. And I just kind of went for it, and now this is all that I have. So I need to order some more for the body, but it's honestly, it's not like a priority right now, and most of it's done, so I know it will get finished at some point. I just like don't want to spend the money to order the yarn right now, especially because that's the only thing that I actually need. The only yarn that I actually need. So at some point, if I have another project in mind or something that I need to order yarn for, I will definitely order it and finish this. It's just not, it's not a priority at the moment. Maybe a little bit when it gets a little bit warmer, which it's starting to, I guess, so that this is something that can be worn more. But yeah, so that's the next work in progress. What do we have? This is, I kept calling it the Delia sweater in the last one, but it's the Dahlia sweater by Les Knit. Oh, the Elizabeth sweater is Petite Knit. Did I not mention something else? Charisma sweater. I said that was Drops, not Charisma sweater. The other sweater, Drops. So this is by Les Knit, the Dahlia sweater. Last time, it looks basically the same, but I unraveled the sleeve and started reworking it with my own decreases again. This is kind of also on the back burner that I pick up whenever I feel like it because it's not really like something I'm in the zone for right now. So that's that, pretty quick. And the last thing is, I started a vanilla sock, and this was, I did a little vlog with this, but the problem is that I sacrificed it to a child while I was home. I was knitting on my Monday sweater, and she wanted to knit with me, but she's 4. She can't really knit. So I was like, what do I have that's the least emotional attachment? This sock. So she just sat there and went like this. And we had a great time, but now she's a little messed up. I have to take back a few rows. I kind of, though, there's some other socks I might start that I'm more excited about than this. So we'll see how this goes. But this was the last. Is this my last work in progress? Yes. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot a finished object. I finished it today, so it totally slipped my mind. Wow, I am so chaotic today. I'll have to insert something earlier in the video to say I'm so sorry because this is the most exciting one. Oh my gosh. This is my second Monday sweater. Look at her in all her glory. This also needs to be blocked. This is why I was saying earlier I had 2 things that needed to be blocked. But this is knit entirely with mini skeins. Mini skeins and 1 strand of drop silk mohair in kid silk mohair in chalk. I went with white so it kind of would blend in. I'm obsessed. I don't know what else to say. She turned out so good. I'm a little nervous about what blocking will do to her. I'm a little, but look at it. So I kind of like, I had a strategy for how I was going to organize the colors at the beginning, and I ended up just totally throwing it out the window, and I went for more of a, as I was knitting it up, what looked right to me. The sleeves are in, so the funny thing was, I kind of did the body first, because I wanted to have full stripes, and I knew I wasn't going to try and split the yarn for the body between the sleeves. But then as I was doing the sleeves, I kind of made them match pretty well, honestly. Like, I didn't even really think about it or mean to, but like, these are both greens. That was intentional so that this little stripe that I got here from the yoke would blend in a little bit more. But I did 2 bright pinks, 2 kind of like pale bluish grenishes, 2 orangey colors. So I feel like it looks really cohesive, more cohesive than I was kind of thinking it would at times. I'm so happy with how this turned out. Yeah, I'm really excited to block this. I'll put up definitely pictures when I blocked it. I'm proud of myself for figuring out what to do with these mini skeins that I had actually picked up at the thrift store. I had 24. I used not all of them. I have like 5 or 6 totally untouched ones. I knit the size medium. I have 5 or 6 totally untouched ones, and then I have a bunch of extra from the sleeves because I didn't knit more than 16 rows in a color stripe in the sleeve to keep it about the same as the rest of it. So I have a lot, and I think I'm probably going to knit some socks with those. It's a much less intimidating amount. I thought about doing a vest or something, but I don't know if that's going to work. But yeah, I'm really excited about this piece. I kind of feel like though it's cemented my my dislike of mohair. Not that I really hate working with it or really hate it. I don't know if it's for me. It's kind of skin crazy. It really increases the price of project by a lot. Even just for this with drops, I think I spent like $30 on the mohair for 5 or 6 skeins because it wasn't on sale. I mean, it's a big expense. I don't know if the effect that it gives is really like super important to me. I don't mind knitting with one strand of something that's bigger. That's fine with me. I like a straight wool, even a more rustic one. I don't really need it to have all the fuzziness. And then I feel like it's also kind of easier to keep clean. The fuzziness gets kind of crazy. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to block it and see what it looks like after that. I'll probably do that later today. Sorry if I keep bumping this mic. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry I forgot about that finished object, the most important one. Let's look at my little list. Yeah, those are all my finished objects and all my whips. I'll actually show you. This isn't the acquisition. This is what I have left of the mini skeins. These aren't in there just because I avoided in the end the yellows. I like yellow. I just kind of didn't really want a yellow centric sweater. I like oranges better than I like yellows, and I like greens. So that's what I leaned into. There's also one super bright green that I avoided. But those will go into something. I'm not really like a fingering weight person, which is probably why it'll get used for socks. But I think that's fine. I think it'll be really cool. I have my scraps and everything in there. But yeah, it gives me a fun opportunity to work with like hand-dyed yarn in general, which I don't usually get to do, and hand-dyed yarn for socks, which is really exciting. Acquisitions. So my acquisitions technically are the mohair, the drops charisma, and then the one thing that I got for funsies, which I don't usually do, I had gotten a gift card for my birthday, which was like August, and I thought I had used pretty much all of it. I thought I only had $2 or $3 left, but I went to go buy a zipper and I actually had like $10 or $12 left. So I bought this Mondine from Rosa Pomar for socks, and it's, what colorway is it? Let me see. It's color 213. It's super beautiful. This like red and pink, yellow, purple. It'll probably turn out maybe a little stripey, which should be fun. I looked at this before and I was like, oh, that's nice. I wish I had a little extra money maybe to throw at that, but I did because that gift card is 100% Portugal wool. I might try and do this. I have one skein of the mohair from drops left. I want to try and knit a DK sock because I haven't knit a DK sock before. I might knit it with this because it's just white, so it'll match. Yeah, so that's my one like yarn acquisition. And then I have this Land's End 100% wool sweater that I'm going to be unraveling for yarn for a project. And this is gonna be part of my video series about unraveling sweater yarn. This is my example sweater to unravel, but I'm very excited because look at this beautiful tweedy yarn. Oh my goodness. I mean, this bad boy is like kind of an awkward shape, but that's the beauty of unraveling sweater yarn, is getting to make something awesome from it. Yeah, so that is what I've got for you today. Sorry for my slightly chaotic format. I hope this still makes sense. I've been really getting into the groove of making videos. Next week I'll have, not next week from when I'm filming this, but the next week from after I post this, I'll have a video about how to pick out a sweater to unravel for yarn. There's actually a lot to kind of go over. I made a lot of mistakes when I started, and so I wanted to share that so that people don't have to make their mistakes as they start trying that. And then I'll do one about how to actually unravel a sweater. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give me a little like, give me a little subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And have a great day. Thank you.